Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to WBJ Radio Sports. As tonight we reach round three, the quarterfinals of the 2021 TSSAA playoffs. We're here with the Coach Shawn Witten Show. I'm Stacy Street, along with my partner Tony Briggs, and head football coach for your Elizabethton Cyclones, Shawn Witten. Coach, we'll talk a little bit about last week's big victory over Anderson County. Not going to spend a lot of time talking about it because it didn't take you a lot of time to take care of business last week. We'll talk to Mr. Cyclone Jerry Jenkins here when we get finished for our halftime segment. But that may be the most dominant defensive performance I've seen by a Cyclone team in a long time.
Well, we did. We just in all phases, from the defensive secondary to the linebacking core to the defensive line, and we just did a great job of shutting down any type of plays that they had against Anderson County, and just big backs, big tight ends we mentioned, big time playmaking receiver and on the outside, and they did a lot of things. They did a lot of formations, a lot of things they could do with us, and even putting Rogue back there for a Wildcat situation. But from start to finish, it was a dominating performance.
Offensively, you were efficient. You did what you wanted to. Special teams, other than the kickoff, penalties still are a little bit of a nemesis. And as you say, you never stay the same. You get better, you get worse. But overall, tell us about the Cyclones at this point as we reach round three.
Well, I think our skill group, all the way around as a group, from the defensive secondary to the receiver group, did a great job. We took our shots when we got man-to-man situations. We were efficient running the football with Bryson early on in the game. We just tried to, establish a great sets on first down to create, some matchup opportunities to take the shots. We started off taking a shot on the second play of the game to Teddy Orton, just barely missed it. Came back and got some great matchups with Jake, which we got him solo and was able to capitalize on those. We created turnovers. We got great field position. We were able to kind of create some quarterback draws. We had some uncharacteristic penalties a little bit, especially down in the red zone. It kind of hurt us at times. I thought one of the biggest plays in the game was how Bryson found Cade on the scramble play. That was a 3rd down and 8. We just got us to a first down, and then there's nobody better around the goal line than number 10. But overall, it was a great performance, great on special teams like you mentioned. Just to establish that type of lead against a good team like that in their place, it's really a tough place to play.
2 weeks in a row, Eli Williams, 16 at that middle linebacker position. Goodness gracious, the quarterback pressure this week and the plays he made. Talk about him a little bit more.
Well,
he deserves it after that.
Yeah, Eli's been an unsung hero, which we talked about. I mean, he's a quiet leader. He's just been thrown into kind of the fire since the week after the Greenville, and just he's done a great job of just learning his position. He's a little bit of a missing piece, like Cade Mopham was 2 years ago. We just needed somebody to kind of weather the storm behind our defensive line. We knew that our defensive line was going to come in. We had 5 out of 6 returning starters. We felt like we had a number of guys, but it takes somebody to really understand what it takes to play Michael linebacker. It's hard to throw guys in there that are normally outside linebackers, getting comfortable in there behind those guys. But Eli Williams has been tremendous, just from the wing tee games to Anderson County games to playing Daniel Boone physical football. He's just been a great addition to our football team, and we're super proud of him.
Week 6, after coming off the victory against Anderson County, you said on your show it felt good, but it didn't feel good enough as it would down there. How does that feeling feel Friday night when you finally, as Jerry says, you checked the box?
Well, I think winning in that place, especially the shortcomings we've had in 17 and 18, it's one of the toughest places to play, just because of the distance we got to travel. I mean, we left at 1 o'clock on Friday just to get to Anderson County and get ourselves ready. But, a lot of the younger players, just the experience, just to go into that place, how tough it is to play, it just doesn't get any sweeter than that. And then just, our seniors understanding the disappointing losses we had there. And then obviously too, that Greenville loses us in 19 and 20. They go to Anderson County to win, to get back to us. You know, you work as hard as you can to get there, to get back to this situation. So that's just it's hard for people to really understand. You know, when you talk about wins against Anderson County at home or even Ray County at home, I mean, that's one of the biggest wins in my 15 years on the road.
You know, me and you, we were talking earlier, skill position wise, you know, this was probably, as you said, the most well-rounded and perfect game that they had played, from Nate to Dalton to Teddy, the whole skill position. It just seemed like they were clicking. You know, you've been pushing and pushing and pushing. It seemed like Friday night sort of the switch come on a little.
Well, we knew Teddy gave us a lot of great minutes the first time we played him. He's a track guy. He's got great speed versus man-to-man. And we felt like in the second half, the first time we played him, they started rolling the safeties out there to kind of double Jake. You know, we knew that we had to make some opportunities on some other players, but after Jake caught those first two catches in the first half, we knew that we had to, you know, kind of mix some things up. They started rolling the safeties high over top of Jake, but be able to hit the slot receivers underneath in the covers was the best thing that could happen to us. Nate got rolling. Teddy showed his true speed. Dalton had probably hit his best game blocking and just at safety, to cover number 30 on the crossing routes, to cover number 9. He made a lot of plays, just hitting the receivers, just timing it out. Yeah, we were just solid and efficient in those skill guys there. We challenged them to kind of be more physical, to not get bullied. You know, last several times we went down there, we felt like their skill group just kind of took it to us a little bit. And I'm just super proud of those guys because, you know, we know that Bryson and Cade and Jake have kind of been carrying our offense at times. But it's great to go down there and get a great win, and our skill guys play really good in the biggest game of the year. It gives us a lot of confidence heading into tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for last week's recap. When we come back, we'll preview tonight's crucial battle, as it's the 6th time in the last 3 years that Greenville and Elizabethton have clashed. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Coach Shawn Witten Show. Coach, you said it earlier in our earlier segment. In 19 and 20, Greenville made a vow. They're going to get back. They're going to kick Anderson County down. They're going to come back. We wasn't able to do it in 17. We wasn't able to do it in 18. We did it this year. Like I mentioned earlier, it's the 6th time we played them in 3 years. How does that feel, knowing that you know them just as well as they know us? It's very common playing each other.
Well, you know, it's very similar programs. You know, we've mentioned a lot of times how, you know, both programs really, you know, respect one another. They got a lot of the same attributes. The kids growing up understand the culture and the tradition and you know, kind of what the expectations are. But, you know, it just when you're youth football to middle school to, you know, to high school football, I mean, you know what it's like growing up playing against Greenville. They're tough games in middle school. They're tough games in youth football. There's tough games against JV, you know, just because you can't just go down there and just, you know, just show up and play. I mean, you really got to whip them. I mean, they're disciplined, they're sound, they're fundamental, they're well coached. It doesn't matter who's coaching, who's playing. It's just two really good football teams, two really good programs. It makes everyone else better. You know, I'm just super proud of our kids because, you know, for 10 weeks they've done everything we've asked them to do. You know, just, you know, you know that the opportunity to get back to this point, how hard you got to work to win, you know, and how hard we've, you know, done a lot of things to accomplish to get back to this point. It's not been easy at all. You know, we've grown up, we've learned some lessons, we've settled in some roles. Just proud of our guys that, you know, we've been able to kind of get back to this point because it's really been tough each week to get here.
You know, you go back and you look, you know, we played in week 3, which was our second game because of the Ray County COVID cancellation. You know, you had a whole lot of green behind the defensive line. You had Mason Ball, who had never played Mike linebacker. You had Shankles out there. You had TJ out there. Flip it up 12 weeks later, 10 weeks later, you've got Eli Williams, you've got Blake, you got Ball playing the weak side linebacker. Looking back at that team, that defense then, linebacking core now, How much more better and more cohesive is this unit?
Well, I think, obviously, there's no question what Blake brings to our football team. These guys won 2 state championships for us, played, in 30 games at outside linebacker. He knows his role, knows his spot as a wheel linebacker. So you just miss that experience, you miss that leadership. And then, I think that too, we realized both teams had gotten better over the last 10 weeks. We realized that Greenville's kind of rolled through their schedule. They've played, Oak Ridge, they've played, DB, they've played a lot of good teams as well. South Doyle, Fulton. I mean, they've been challenged. They've had enough time to get themselves better too. But I think the more so than anything else is we just thought that we were going to be the mighty Cyclones and kind of just show up and put ourselves out there and thought we were just going to compete against them. It wasn't about getting beat, 10 weeks ago. It was more about the way that we played. Just the lack of effort, the lack of enthusiasm, the lack of executing. It wasn't kind of the same type of football team that showed up 2 weeks prior against Science Hill. We just kind of, you have a sour taste in your mouth just because we realized that they're good. But, we just didn't put a lot of time, the fourth effort to execute and do what it takes to kind of win. So, we're better now. Of course, we realize they're better too. And so, I don't think we would want it any other way when we get to this game.
Looking back 10 weeks later, do you think that loss is actually beneficial?
Well, I think it's kind of woken us up a little bit in a lot of ways. Just, we were young, we were green, immaturity at times. We come off a big win at Johnson City, but, just understanding that, the Greenville works really hard too. They got a lot of great players. They're very talented. They got a great senior group. What they do is very simple. You just got to go out there and stop it, And so, to think you can win this game in one quarter, you can't. It's a 48-minute game. They got a lot of players that can make a lot of plays, but we left a lot of plays out there. It just wasn't the same team that showed up 2 weeks prior against Science Hill that showed up against Greenville. And so I think it made us more hungry. It made us come ready to work. It made us change a lot of things and do a lot of things different. But I still think the values are there. It's made us kind of work a lot harder in practice. And, I think that, it's kind of opened our eyes up for our guys to get back to work. But you're super proud of them because, it really shows you how hard it is to win. How hard is it to win each and every week. Our schedule's been completely different this year. And just super proud of our guys, the way they've bounced back each week.
Final question before I hand it over to Stacy. Do you expect to see anything different from this Greenville team? Do you think they're going to throw any other wrinkle or anything at us, or do you think they're just going to line up and say, here we are?
Well, they've done some things over the last 10 weeks. They've shown a lot of different wrinkles. Really the biggest difference is, what they can do on the outside, the throws that they're making down the field. They also, they got a core group that kind of sets the tone for them. Obviously, they've got the speed and athleticism that makes a lot of great plays. But, I think the one difference you'll see offensively is, they're getting Gudger on the edge a little bit more. It's not so much of inside runs. They're just using his speed to get to the boundary. They do a lot of misdirections with, fake reverses. They do some jets. They do fake jets. They do a lot of plays like that, some screens to get the ball in those guys' hands. But it's same formulas that we witnessed Greenville in 2017 and 18. It's simplicity. Get the ball in the playmaker's hands, and you look at our scheme the last 2 years. When you got guys like Parker and Jake and Cade Maupin and those guys, you just put the ball in their hands and allow them to make plays. So we realize that when you get to this point, especially when you're 12-0 and you've scored as many points as they have and you've stopped people as good as they have, you're not going to change a whole lot coming into tonight's game.
Pick up on one thing you talked about there for just a minute, that loss to Greenville in week 3, our second game of the season. It really took the wind out of a lot of people's sails. The fans, the players, the coaches, Tony and I, just anybody associated with this program. How hard has it been to get back to this point?
Well, I think just, where our football team is and what we graduated, everybody understands the expectations and the traditions and, losing's unaccepted. But I think it was more about the way we played, how much we had to gain back. It's just the discipline and playing for one another and the unselfishness. And then, sometimes you're not as good as you think you are. Sometimes you're not as bad as you think you are. And then just opens your eyes up to, you've got to have really good role players if you want to be great. And Bryson Rollins is going to get a lot of the credit when we win. He's going to get a lot of the credit when we lose. But we've got to have great role players that have to step up and do their job. But we've moved Mason Williams to kicker. We've done limited guys on special teams roles. We've gotten better in a lot of areas, and we felt like that we've created depth. We've created a continuity amongst our offensive line. We've gone into games to try to get people the ball to give us playmakers. So you just keep pressing, you keep pushing, and it's very, very satisfying to, like last week, to go in Anderson County game and Nate, Dalton, those guys, Teddy, had their best game. So you just keep pressing forward, you keep working, and good things will happen.
As we watched that last game, we made these comments. We've seen all the great Greenville teams that were down there in the past. We've seen Elizabethton just dominant the last 2 years. That may be the fastest secondary that I've ever seen that's on the Greenville field right now with those speedsters. How do you counter that now after seeing them and what you've been put in? How do you counter?
Well,
that?
you hit very correct there, Stacy. These guys have only give up 17 points in one game. That was the first game of the year against Knox Central. I mean, DB only put up 14. We only put up so many points. I mean, it's just been. They've been dominating on defense, and they don't do a lot of things that a lot of people do as far as they play zone covers. They don't play a lot of man. They really challenge you in a lot of ways, but they're as difficult to throw on as they are to run. You're not just going to trick them and fool them, but you just got to do a great job of being efficient. I thought when the first time we played them, our second series, we had 18 play drive, 10 of them were quarterback runs. But we just got to do a great job of just trying to keep them off balance. We really got to win on first down. And I think, too, is you got to try to take some shots when you can. You got to try to hit that underneath coverage as you can. You just got to be really solid across the board offensively. But I think where we were able to get them, we just got to do a better job of winning on first down.
If you were successful early against Greenville on those long, sustained drives with the mixture of passes and runs, you think we're going to see some more of that tonight?
Yeah, we're going to have to. And our other receivers are going to be ready to step up, and we just got to do a little bit of misdirection too. I think at times we've got to get Bryson. He does such a great job. It's not really a backyard football, but. Some of the plays he's been able to make against these guys and scramble plays have been big for us. Zach Hartley's had big games against Greenville, just coming up making big. Jake's had big games against Greenville, but we just got to have those other guys step up and make some plays for us. But it's all about securing the catch in a lot of ways. When you throw the ball underneath in zone coverage, you got to be able to find those holes in the zones, catch it, secure it. It's not about the run after the catch against Greenville. It's creating first downs and keeping their offense off the field.
Quickly on the other side of the ball, we saw it last week. Anderson County desperately wanted to throw the ball to try to counter that run, and he had one of those big defensive linemen, or Eli Williams, in his face every single time. He was scared. When he dropped back, you could see the fear in his eyes. Is that going to be part of the game tonight to try to neutralize Quillen at quarterback?
Yeah, we've got to. We've got to do a great job of doing some twists up front. We've got to use Trenton and Brad's size and even Caleb's athleticism coming off the edge. We've got to show them different looks and kind of moving and showing and stemming and just showing some different looks defensively. And we just got to tackle them. We can't miss tackles.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to make them go. We've got to get them on the ground. We got to rally. That was what probably was more disappointing than anything. Is just we just didn't rally around the football. You saw even tackling Gavin Noah. You just can't tackle him with one person. You got to rally around the ball, and that's what we've got to do. And Gudger's a great back. He's going to make plays. They're going to make plays. They're going to stop us. Hopefully, we stop them. And we've got to do a great job in dividing the game up into two halves like it is, but we got to win the first 24 minutes, and then we got to win the last 24 minutes. That's what we've been able to do out here. the last 2 years is just finding a way to get the game in the fourth quarter, keep it close. We need a low-scoring game. We don't want to get in a shootout. We don't want to go, series to series with them. We have definitely got to be a low-scoring game. We've got to get points on the board. We got to be solid in our special teams with Gudger at kick returner, Gillespie at punt returner. We've got to do a great job on special teams, and so we've just got to be. We got to fight like crazy tonight, But you're correct. I mean, Trenton has done a great job in his career. A lot of pass deflections. Mason Ball at the outside linebacker. We hope that avoids some windows, and then Blake's been such a key factor for us with his consistency at linebacker. We hope that he has a strong performance tonight as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set. Elizabethton Cyclones played a lot of big ball games in the last 3 years. None is bigger than the one tonight, as the Elizabethton Cyclones travel to Burley Stadium, Greene County, Tennessee, to take on the Green Devils for a chance to go to the semifinals again and play that all-important, have that Thanksgiving practice and play that Black Friday game. And it all starts tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have it all for you here on WBJ Radio Sports. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors when we come back. Tony and I will have our preview. We'll be on time tonight, all of us, and we're going to have just what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen, in high school football. Once again, from your Elizabethton Cyclones here on WBJ Radio Sports. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our halftime show here on WBJ Radio Sports. At halftime of this big round 3 quarterfinal game with the Greenville Green Devils. We are honored to be joined tonight by who I refer to as Mr. Cyclone, Mr. Jerry Jenkins. He is an alumni of Elizabethton High School. He's an alumni of all those great Dave Ryder teams at Elizabethton High School. And I challenge anybody to find somebody that knows more about Cyclone football than Jerry Jenkins.
I appreciate that.
Coach Jenkins, welcome tonight. How are you doing?
I appreciate you guys having me on there. It's an honor to be on there. I appreciate it.
We're on Facebook and YouTube and all these things now. When you watch this, look, he's even got a Cyclone watch on here,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen.
got that today.
This man bleeds orange and black. Jerry, talk a little bit about. We ask these players sometimes at this halftime segment that we have the last couple of years about what it means to be a Cyclone, and they're in the midst of it, and they say all the right things, but I don't think it's sunk in. You tell me what it means for you to be a Elizabethton Cyclone.
Man, you go back over the years, all the good teams we've had and be able to play on them. I was lucky enough to be born in the right year to come along and be at this place. People don't realize that. To be a Elizabethton Cyclone and be on the teams and be around the people and the coaches and the kids, to me, I get emotional about it sometimes. I'm passionate about it. I think I've told you that. That's one of my passions. And it's hard to put it in words for me. It's just something about on Friday nights. There's no place I'd rather be than a dressing room with the Elizabethton Cyclone football team. I don't care if it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. It don't make no difference. As long as I'm in that locker room with the orange and black, that's where I need to be at. That's where I want to be at.
You've gone to school here, you played here, you coached here, you've coached at T.A. Duggar. Your son Brian's a coach here now, so you're on the sidelines. We go to the games, ride to them together most of the time.
Yeah.
It's such an exciting time right now. They talk about the glory days and the golden years of Elizabethton Cyclones. I tell them we're in them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Two-time defending state championship. Tell me what's your assessment of the teams that Elizabethton has had the last 2 years, and then the way they've been able to battle back this year to reach this quarterfinal game.
It all goes back to working hard. Good things happen to you. And if you've ever been to these practices, especially in June and July, you work hard, good things happen to you. And that's what we've done, since 2007 it started. And all the kids have bought in. And at junior high, we're doing the same thing. And we're working hard. It shows on the field, on and off the field. These kids work hard. It's hard to describe unless you come down and see it. And it's just extremely great to be a part of it. For me, it is.
You're directly involved with Ryan Witten up at T.A. Duggar.
Yeah.
And when they need somebody, they know they call Jerry, and you come and help them. It's hard to believe what a seamless transition it is for these kids with Ryan at T.A. Duggar when they come down here then to coach Shawn Witten, to how much they learn at T.A. Duggar, probably more than any middle school program in the state. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir. It's just, all we do is just, we get them together. When they get down here, I got to do just shine them up a little bit. Because they're ready to go. They know the drills. They know the system. They know the language. I mean, and they're ready to go. Just shine a little bit and polish it maybe a little bit, but they're ready to go.
Speaking of that, you got a grandson
Oh, man.
that's playing junior
Oh.
Cyclone football.
Yeah, sure do. Yeah.
He's been coached by Shawn Witten
yeah.
and Brian Jenkins.
Yeah.
That is something that we've had missing for years.
Yeah.
You look at Maryville, you look at Alcoa.
Yeah.
They run, when they're
Exactly.
5, they run what they run when
Yes,
they're
sir.
16. How do you think that's going to pan out?
Oh,
in the
that's
future?
just going to be better. I mean, they're going to know exactly what to do, and just like I say, it makes it easier on the next level. When they get to junior high, they know the drills, they know the defense, they know the language. It just makes it easier. And you can put more in because they already know what what I'm saying. They already know the basics. You can add things that's going to make you a better ball team. Offensive, defensive wise. But yeah, and you did know they won the championship. They went
They
one
did.
game they lost.
One name.
And who coached them?
That was
The head ball coach,
Yep,
Shawn
he did.
Witten. I mean, he can win at any level. Didn't I tell you that?
You said, I'm glad you're on my team. You can
Exactly
win any
right.
level.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
That's what you said. Yep, they beat Tennessee. They beat Revenge against
Exactly right.
Bristol.
First ball game they lost, they got
Yep.
beat. But yeah, they come back and they're a lot better. Like I think we are. They lost that first game and they got better as the season went on. And see what they did now. Week 3 we got beat by Green, but I believe we're better than what we was week 3.
Absolutely.
Yep. I think
And
you're-
you talked about that schedule we had. When I seen it, I thought, man, we might be talking 2 or 3 losses right there. But hey, you see where we're at.
Yeah.
So that's always a plus.
It is. Now I'm going back in a little bit of time. 2012,
Okay.
Sullivan South.
Yeah.
Caleb's quarterback.
Yeah.
Last
yeah,
game.
Yeah.
You was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you'd retired the year before.
I did. I'd gone out a couple of years. Yeah. Yeah.
And you give them a speech. He told me that was the best speech he's ever heard.
Well, it's just some of those kids like Caleb and some of them, you just think a lot of them, and you got to go from the gut. The way I feel about it, you got to be passionate about it. You just got to go with it. And that was one of those nights that it was just there and it come out right,
And it worked.
it worked.
It did.
So it just is like I said. There's 3 things in life that's never going to change: sky's blues, water's wet, and grass is green, and Elizabeth cyclones don't quit.
That's
and
4.
well, there's 3, and that's 4. Yeah, but anyways, you know what I mean.
Yep.
But they don't quit. We don't quit. Simple as that.
Let me jump in here and ask you another thing.
All
You and I both had the privilege of playing for Dave Ryder, and people just don't understand if they weren't in that huddle after practice and in that locker room before games. That man had a unique ability.
Oh, man.
We never took a field in 4 years that we didn't think we were going to win.
That's right. I
And
agree.
you would have run through a brick wall.
Yes, sir.
What do you think the similarities are between Coach Dave Ryder and Coach Shawn Witten?
Well, they both work hard and believe in what they do. I mean, Coach Ryder's, he told me that. You work hard, good things happen to you. Same way with Shawn. He has just a way about him that he gets stuff out of kids that you don't think you can get out of them sometimes. He can get it out of them. Coach Ryder's the same way. I mean, no matter if you weighed 150 pounds or 250 pounds, he had that way of getting something out of you some way or another to make you go better than you thought you could go, and it's Shawn the same way. He is.
Absolutely.
But it's. I'm looking forward tonight. I'm telling you, it's going to be something else down there. It's going to be, hard to handle, but I'll be there.
You got another check ready?
Yeah, I've got. Yeah,
We'll make
I've
that
got
box.
one. We'll make 2 for that one. He got me more chicks. So, I'd like to get Alcoa. That's one I'd like to get on.
Well, what was
Who
funny
knows?
is after the game last week in Anderson County, Ryan made about 5 trips in and out that door talking to Mr. Van Huss. He said, "We're ready. We'll play anybody. Orange and Black don't.
That's
they
right.
don't. They
That's
don't back
right.
down from anybody.
Stacey knows
We
that.
got 2 more we got to get: Maryville and Alcoa.
That's it. I think
what he
you're
said.
exactly right. That's 2 we need to get off our checklist for him, man. You're right. And maybe somewhere down the road, that'll happen.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us at halftime. I'm telling you right now, this man right here can talk about soccer and football.
Yep.
We don't have enough tape on this recorder. Jerry, awesome.
I'm glad you're on my
Awesome-
team.
Awesome to be with you. We're
Thank you.
glad you're a soccer.
Thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed our halftime segment, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we're going to have the thrilling finish to this quarterfinal game with the Greenville Green Devils as your Elizabethton Cyclones continue their march to Chattanooga. We'll be back after these words from our sponsor.